What is up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 63 of Thinktwice, the magic and pop culture show hosted by me, Justin Parnell, and my co-host, Ali Aintrazi. That's you.
That's me?
Yeah, the other one.
What up, Justin Parnell?
No,
I just saw you.
You did. We were in Baltimore together over the weekend.
We were. The best city.
Well, arguably, not my. I would say it's not my favorite city. If I was ranking them, it would not be my favorite. It would probably be somewhere below my favorite.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Baltimore has some really crappy roads. That's something I realize every time I'm there.
it does. It's like, and the city just goes on forever. It's like it takes you deeper and deeper into the city, down those terrible roads. But we eventually got out. We're at home now, back in Roanoke and the greater Charlotte area, respectively.
Yes, we went to Baltimore. We played Legacy. Elizabeth came with us too.
Indeed.
And she did not play Legacy. She played modern side events.
That's true. Try to tron some people up.
And then how do we do, Pernell? How do we do?
Well, I don't know. You just said and then. So I had no clue where you were going with that.
I didn't either. So
okay. Well, I did not make day 2 of the Baltimore Open. However, I did play in the Legacy Classic the next day. And the first day I played a blue-white Delver Stoneforge Mystic deck. So if listeners of the show, if you have access to Ollie's brew book, I posted 4 deck lists immediately after the bannings of Deathrat Shaman and Gataxian Pro. And I played what was very similar to one of the deck lists, which was the deck with Stoneforge Mystic and Delver Secrets in it in day 1. And it did okay. It wasn't grindy enough or fast enough, which is kind of the two type of decks that I enjoy playing in Legacy. It's not a combo deck. It's kind of just a little value Stoneblade deck that can pressure people with Delver Secrets. Didn't make day 2. Had some interesting matchups. I actually played a lot of really close Magic, but ended up losing more than I won. I don't think the deck is bad. I don't think I played bad. I just lost a lot of game 3s that were really close.
Right.
Day 2, I played Blue-Red Delver, which is another deck that I had posted. At this point, I've played Sneak and Show, the Blue-White Stoneforge Mystic Delver Secrets deck, and then Blue-Red Young Pyromancer Delver of Secrets. And those are 3 of the 4 decks that I posted right after the banning. So now I've played 3 of those. And of the 3, I've definitely enjoyed this Blue-Red Delver Pyromancer deck the most. And for people that are in our Discord, I posted a picture of both of the decks and the one deck that you played, which we'll get to that in a second. I ended up getting 31st in the event. I like the deck a lot. It's not perfect, but I think I'm going to work on it. This is probably going to be the deck I'm going to play for the next couple of Legacy events whenever they come up. But Ollie did not scrub out of day 1, and in fact, did make day 2 of competition. So I'll let you tell us your story.
Well, what's my story? Made day 1, finished day 1 at 7-1-1. That one draw was with Eldrazi Stompy.
Mm-hmm.
And my loss was to...
I remember. Do you not remember?
No, I don't remember.
Goblins.
Oh, yeah. I lost round 1 to Goblins. I think it's good. I think it's actually a good matchup, but...
Do you want to tell people what you played?
Yeah, sorry. I played the same deck I played last time, which was a Sultai Veteran Explorer deck. The main deck was basically the same. The only thing I changed was I added a Ponder and a Factor Fiction, and I cut 1 Snapcaster and 1 Leovold. But otherwise, it was the same. In the board, I added 1 Ensnaring Bridge and a Mystic Confluence that was supposed to be a second Factor Fiction, but the card that did really well for me over the course of the weekend was definitely Factor Fiction, surprisingly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess surprisingly because it doesn't see regular play in Legacy, but not surprising to anyone who's ever cast Factor Fiction before.
Yeah, the card is really good, like in fueling Emrakul, getting you cards. And so often people would like make the split of like 4-1.
The fear.
Because they're scared.
The fear is what they call that.
Yeah. So then you just take the 4 and you cast Brainstorm and basically draw 3 cards for free. because like you just put back the lands that were in the 4 pile. But then day 2, I lost to Turbo Depths, Burn, and basically some bad matchups. And also I misplayed in 2 matchups where I just didn't see the line or took the wrong line and realized it too late. I was in contention for top 8 for a while. Ended up getting 47th place, top 64. Deck is really fun. I like it a lot, and I really want to play it with Assassin's Trophy. And so it's like now, like torn. I'm going to Columbus. I'm torn if I should play Legacy or Standard. And that's never been a thing for me. It's always been like, okay,
it's always
new Standard,
auto Standard.
Yeah,
especially a brand new format.
Of course. Exactly. And now I'm just like, man, I really want to cast Emrakul and Factor Friction and all these sweet cards in Legacy. So, and Assassin's Trophy. I feel like that card shores up so many matchups, so.
It does. Yeah, all those things you can't kill before, now you can just kill them.
Yeah, I was playing Most Impulse to deal with Jace. No longer have to do that.
No.
Against the lands deck, I can kill. I can I have a chance to stop them making Merit Lodge, but I mean against Burn, I'm still like dying, I guess, but that's about it.
Well, I mean that's kind of the thing with Burn, though, right?
Yeah.
There's not cards people play in their main deck other than like Batterskull. That's gonna solve that matchup for anyone. So
you watched me. You watched. Oh, sorry. I played one standing bridge in the sideboard, and that thing
the
like
most overperforming card in your 75.
Yes, it won me. Yeah, yes, it won me so many games that like some had no business winning. Others you just like was a slam dunk and they had no chance of winning. It was pretty insane.
Yeah. It straight up won you 2 games on its own with no other cards.
Yeah. I was going to die too, so it was. Yeah,
like against opponents that cannot remove it, and their only way to beat you is by attacking you, so they can't win. They actually could not win. It was pretty amazing. It was Death Shadow, blue like Death Shadow both times where you just got them.
Yeah.
Once that artifact is in play, they were not prepared for an artifact out of your sideboard.
No, yeah, and that's the best bridge is when the people aren't ready for it.
Yeah, totally. So we did have a question of the week last week, and I want you to know going in that despite what you think about this poll, the people have spoken. So this is now fact.
I mean, this is literal fact.
This is fact now. Question of the week was, we were talking about Vivian Reed and her arc bow, and I said I believe that the arc bow can absorb the souls of dying humans because humans are animals, and Ollie says no way. So of course, a full 2/3 of you, 66% of you said, of course the arc bow can absorb humans. We're smart. And then 34% of you said, I'm very suspicious of this and simply don't believe it until I see it. But
that's it.
That's 66%.
Now it's fact.
Yeah, now it's back. Now it's backed by fact. Fact of the popular vote.
So the question now is,
we live in America, so
how do you want to die? You want to get cremated, buried, or go in the arc bow?
Arc bow for sure.
All right, me too. Let's go. Let's do it.
Let's
arc bow it up like Noah and his ark.
I don't think that's the same thing, but you know what? We'll just roll with it. This won't be the last biblical reference we make this episode. Anyway, so for those of you that are listening on one of our great platforms, SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, or Google Play Music, please take a second out of your day to leave us a review. It doesn't take very much time. Leave us either a 5-star review if you enjoyed the show, a quick text review, or a like or a subscribe on the channels you're able to do that. We also want you to check out patreon.com/thinktwicemtg if you like the show. Consider supporting it. We want to give a shout out to Ethan S., who is our newest patron supporter. Ethan, thank you very much for your support. We hope you're enjoying the show. Now,
thank you, Ethan. Appreciate it.
segment 1 for today. This is one that I know a lot of people have been waiting for. We've been talking about Guilds of Ravnica for the last 2 weeks. We've been just going over cards in general as we've seen them. But today I want us to focus in on Commander. So we are going to take a quick break, and when we return, Guilds of Ravnica in Commander. Guilds of Ravnica colorless set. Quite the opposite, actually. Very colorful set. And
Indeed, very
and frequently sets like these, Ravnica sets, Khans of Tarkir, things that have a lot of a high multicolored theme, are usually have some slam dunks for Commander. And I almost want to say this set is no different, but I think that the cards in this set are more specific for archetypes than they are generic, but I actually really, really prefer that when we're talking about adding cards to the Commander format, because I don't like generically good cards. This is something that I've talked about more on Commander Versus and like content for that than I have on this show. But yeah. I really like specific cards that go in specific decks rather than cards that are like, oh, this can go in every deck. Because there's enough of those cards. Like if none of those cards ever existed, like they were not printed going forward, I would be totally fine with that for Commander. But of course, this is kind of where we are. So I have a list of a lot of cards, right? And I'm going to just kind of go through them and say where they best fit. And you're more than welcome to jump in when you have comments or questions or concerns, especially concerns.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So the first one, and this is certainly a specific archetypical card, is Citywide Bust. 1 white sorcery, destroy all creatures with toughness 4 or greater. This is an excellent wrath in a tokens deck. Just straight up. I mean, this is you have similar cards like oh my gosh, I can't think of it. Card from Visions that essentially does the same thing, but this is another instance of this card. And when it comes to wraths, like specific wraths, there's not a situation where you can have too many. So this is a card I think is narrow, but the decks that will want it really, really want it, which is my favorite kind of card for Commander. The next one is the complete opposite. This is probably the most generic card in the set for Commander. And this is, I'm going to give you my top 5 rankings as we go through this segment. This is my number 3 card, and it's Crush Contraband. This is an instant for 3 and a white. Choose one or both, exile target artifact or exile target enchantment. So this is a lot like Return to Dust, but you don't have to do it on your main phase. Now, you can't get 2 artifacts or 2 enchantments. You gotta get one of both, but I think even still, the utility of this card and being able to do that at instant speed for 4 mana is gonna make this a format staple, which is it's, you know, like I said, I don't love having just generically good cards, but this is an answer card rather than a threat card, so I don't mind that as much. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's just generic.
Yeah. So it's for answer cards. Answer cards I don't mind, so I think this is going to see a lot of play. The next one is an enchantment called Dawn of Hope. 1 and a white. Whenever you gain life, you can pay 2 generic mana. If you do, draw a card. And it has 3 and a white, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink. So it can trigger itself, encourage you to have life gain in your deck. And this is a card that white has really needed because white struggles to draw cards. It doesn't struggle to gain life, though. So in decks that you have some auxiliary life gain or lifelink creatures, I actually think this is a really solid card. This is something that's going to start to see play in probably a lot of black-white decks, kind of the drain and gain strategy. Two is it's a lot. There's a lot more than 1, which is kind of what you see on cards like Mind's Eye or things like that. But combined with the fact that you get to make creature tokens for 4, I think adds a lot of merit to this card.
That's probably why they did that. That's probably why they made it cost 2 instead of 1 because of the activation.
Yeah, probably so. I think that's okay. I think splitting the difference is fine because it makes the card a little less narrow. Like it would be a little too narrow if it just did one or the other. So I'm totally fine with it. Makes lifelink tokens too, which is nice. Okay, the next card, getting it out of the way. This is my number 1 card for Commander for the set. I think this is the most powerful card that's going to see the most play from this set. This is not going to be the last time we'll talk about this card, but this is Divine Visitation. 3 white enchantment. Whenever one or more creature tokens would be created under your control, that many 4/4 white angel creature tokens with flying and vigilance, those are Sarah Angels, are created instead.
It's crazy they have vigilance too. Like, but yeah.
This is a mythic rare. Again, I think it's the best card in the set for Commander, which is this card is outrageously powerful. Obviously, token decks specifically got a lot of really nice stuff. And even if they just got this card, it would be really nice stuff because this card is outrageously powerful. If you have a token deck that makes white, this is instantly one of the best cards in your deck, just straight up, right out of the box. The moment you put it in your deck, it's one of the best cards. It's that powerful. Okay. The next one, what's up? Oh, Maggie has
agrees.
Really strong feelings about Divine Visitation.
Yeah.
So that's all right. I'm gonna keep pressing forward. The next one is going into blue is Mission Briefing. This is a card that a lot of people have looked at for constructed for 60 card formats. And I think, honestly, this card's going to see a lot more play in Commander than it is in regular 60 card formats. Blue instant, Surveil 2. Then choose an instant or sorcery card in your graveyard. You may cast that card this turn. If that card would be put into your graveyard this turn, exile it instead. So this is spell Snapcaster Mage, and I think Snapcaster Mage is good in Commander, but this allows you to kind of get around graveyard hate with Surveil 2. It's a spell. There's a lot more things that care about spells in Commander than creatures as far as like archetypical things. So I think this is a card that you're going to just see a lot of in decks that are spell heavy. Okay, the next one, and this is my number 4 Commander card for this set, is Omnispell Adept. This is a 3/4 for 4 generic and a blue human wizard. You can pay 2 and a blue and tap it, and you can cast an instant or sorcery card from your hand without paying its mana cost.
That's sweet. That's my kind of card.
It is, and it's going to be. So the problem with this card is going to be difficult to be fair, and it's not like it's encouraging you to be fair because it's clearly not. But this thing is going to have a huge target on its head, so you really have to be careful when you're putting it out. You can be doing the most innocuous thing. You're just like, I just want to get like 4 mana off this spell, right? Well,
yeah, off your time stretch.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. If it's time stretch, then that's what I assume you're going to cast. I don't just mean you, but I mean anyone. Like, why would I assume that you're not doing something broken? So this thing has a gigantic target on its head. This is going to be best friends with Thousand Year Elixir for sure. It doesn't need haste, but being able to activate its abilities immediately that's going to be important.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So the next one we're moving into black is Mausoleum Secrets, and I joked when this card came out. It's an instant, which is great for 1 and a black, and it says Undergrowth. Search your library for a black card with a converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Reveal it, put it in your hand, and shuffle your library. I was joking that in my Yahini deck, this just is instant speed Demonic Tutor with no downside. Because I always have creatures in my graveyard, and all my cards are black anyway. I mean, I can't get Cabal Coffers now, but I'll be okay. I'll be okay just getting a black card. So, needless to say, this goes into a lot of Golgari and just black decks. If you have creatures in your deck, specifically, this is like All-Star and like a Mirren deck. This is just another tutor for you, just straight up. Next card, this is a Guild Unaligned card, but Midnight Reaper. 2 and a black, Zombie Knight for a 3/2. Whenever a non-creature token you control dies, Midnight Reaper deals 1 damage to you and you draw a card. This is a Grim Harspix similar type thing, except this is a zombie, and that makes a big difference. There's a card in this set that gained the zombie subtype, which made it better in Midnight Reaper, and there's a card, which is the next card I'm going to talk about, which lost the zombie subtype, but the power that came along with the card more than made up for it. But Midnight Reaper, this is just, you can do fair things with this card, you can do unfair things with this card. It's just a great value card for zombie decks. zombie subtypes do matter quite a bit in Commander, and this is a card that is going to get played in pretty much every zombie deck because you're actually working with tangible creatures very frequently. This and Gravecrawler are best friends. Okay, now this is my personal favorite card in the entire set. This is my number 5 pick for Commander. This is Plague Crafter. This is a 2 and a black casting cost for a 3/2 human shaman. When Plague Crafter enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. Each player who can't discards a card. The dream is to get like 3 planeswalkers with this. Now, they got to be playing planeswalkers, but you're always going to get something. That's the best part about this card, especially for decks that are going to continue to reanimate this card, bring it back and forth out of the graveyard, which is something you want to do and can do pretty easily in Commander. This card can strip people of resources pretty quickly. Everyone. Now, this puts a target on your head, but if you can manage it to kind of get to the point of the game where people are already lowish on resources, this can wipe the rest of them out, specifically with the hand. That's the part of this card that I actually like the most is you can be like, well, I'm playing this to get so-and-so's creature, but you still know you're getting a little bit, you're sucking a little bit of life out of everybody else. Okay, next one, moving into red. I don't even know what to make of this card, but I'm glad it exists, and this is Experimental Frenzy. Enchantment, 3 in a red. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may play the top card of your library. You can't play cards from your hand, and you can pay 3 in a red to destroy Experimental Frenzy. I don't know what this card's going to do, but it's going to be great, and I'm here for it. It's probably not going to be me it's going to be playing. I feel like this is more of a you card.
I don't even know, man. Like, I feel like if there's 2 lands top of your deck, you're just done. Like, you need like something like top or something. I don't know.
Well, yeah, you could. There's a lot of different ways. There's a lot of different ways to mess with that.
Yeah.
Just play Soothsaying.
Just play Future Sight.
I don't know, man. I don't know. This is red though. Costs 4 mana. I'm just saying I like it. You don't show the top of your deck.
I don't like it.
I think you do. I think your soul likes it. Your heart, your brain doesn't like it. All right, next one. Next red card is Risk Factor. This is an instant for 2 and a red. This is a new browbeat. Target opponent may have a risk factor deal 4 damage to them. If that player doesn't, you draw 3 cards. Now this is an instant. 4 damage instead of 5, still 3 cards, but it also has Jumpstart. So playing this in the same turn for 6 mana and a card that you probably just drew off of the first risk factor is very nice. In Commander, I do like the Punisher cards a little bit more because you can kind of beat on somebody and get their life total low, and then you can target them with the Punisher things. It's like, well, I can't take more damage. Like, I can't just take 8. I guess I was going to let you draw cards. Maybe I'll just take 4 and let you draw 3, but even still, it ends up, it's a good political card because you're like, well, I'm just letting this person decide. They can easily just take the damage, and then you can kind of turn people against them because it's like, well, so-and-so they don't want to take the damage. So they let them draw cards. It's like, that's on him. That's not on me. That's my favorite kind of card. Okay, moving on. Next card. This is my number 2 card for the set. And you'll notice that all of the cards that I have 1 through 5 are not multicolored cards. There's a reason for that. Multicolored cards are significantly harder to put into your decks because they cost at least 2 colors. And that makes them a lot more narrow. But this one, Beast Whisperer, number 2 card in the set for a commander. 2 green, elf druid, 2/3 creature. Whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. This is an effect.
This card seems powerful.
It is, because this is an effect they've only had on things that cost more than 4. This is the cheapest of this effect that they've had on a card ever.
Glimpse of Nature.
Permanent card.
Yeah.
Like card that just stays in play, that you can return and recur.
Yeah, and you don't have to pay anything. It just does it.
No, you just do it. That's the great thing. I don't even have to explain why this card is good. Like, oh yeah, do you have creatures? You have a bunch of them? Are you playing green? Okay. This is probably going to be in your deck. So this card is great.
Man, yeah.
And that's only the best part. This is also an elf and a druid. So the fact that it's an elf is already a little obnoxious. The art looks like a human. It doesn't look very elf-like, but it's hard. They got its ears covered up. I don't know. I think they just changed that at the last minute. They're like, yeah, it's an elf, right? I don't know if it's an elf. They're telling me
it is now.
Nah, they're telling me that. Anyway, Okay, next one is Hatchery Spider. This is 5 green green.
Big boy.
5/7 spider with reach. Undergrowth, when you cast this spell, cast, not enters the battlefield. When you cast this spell, reveal top X cards in your library, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. You may put a green permanent card with converted mana cost X or less from among them on the battlefield, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. This is pretty sweet if you're going big and you have a bunch of creatures in your graveyard. It's also a spider. The art looks a lot like Ishkana, but it's not, so don't think that it is, but it kind of is, but it's not. Just saying.
It's more like Genesis Hydra for 5.
What now?
It's more like Genesis Hydra for 5.
Genesis Hydra for... Yeah. And that's probably about right, honestly. Is Genesis Hydra for 5, and then you get like 2 extra toughness and reach.
Yeah, it's different. It's different though because of Undergrowth can be bigger, so it's weird.
You can build around it without having to get big mana.
Yeah.
Okay, next one, going into multicolored. I'm not going to spend any time talking about this one, Assassin's Trophy. If you can cast this card, it's going into your deck. Period. This kills any permanent. You're giving someone a basic land, does not matter, it's commander, whatever. You're going to kill something significantly more expensive than whatever you're paying to cast this card and giving them resource for it. Not a big deal. This card is... It's outside of my top 5 because it's 2 colors, so it's only going to go in decks that can cast it, obviously, but every deck that will be able to cast it will cast it. All right, next one is, sticking with the Golgari, is Izani Thousand Eyed. Is also one of my favorite cards in this set.
This card grew on me. But,
I think this is actually a constructed playable card. I'll let you tell me if it is or not when we get to that part, but 2 black, green, so very difficult to cast. It's an Elf Shaman 2/3 for 6. It's got to be powerful, right? Well, it is.
I hope so.
When Izani Thousand Eyed enters the battlefield, and this is an enter the battlefield, not cast, which I like a lot better. Create a 1/1 black and green insect token for each creature in your graveyard. So over the course, this is creature Worm Harvest. Instead of lands that it's counting, it counts your creatures. Yeah. And those go to the graveyard a lot more naturally. And of course you can pay a black and a green, sacrifice another creature, gain a life, and draw a card. So this is Azani is going to be best friends with Marin, obviously, as a lot of these cards are, but Azani's probably going to helm some of her own commander decks, which I'm pretty excited for. All right, next one, moving into Dimir, is Lazav the Multifarious. And Lazav is a 1/3 for black-blue, legendary creature shapeshifter. When Lazav the Multifarious enters the battlefield, surveil 1. And then you can pay X and have Lazav become a copy of target creature card in your graveyard with converted mana cost X, except his name is Lazav. It has this ability, and it's legendary. It doesn't exile the creature, which is very important, so you can keep switching at a moment's notice. Now, Lazav is really, really narrow, but I'm also really, really excited to see decks that this is helming, where this is the commander. I think that's going to be super, super awesome.
I like this card for standard, but keep going.
You like this card for standard?
Yeah.
Okay. You have a lot less options.
Different topic.
Yeah, sure. Okay, keeping with the Dimir, Mnemonic Betrayal is the next one. This is a sorcery for 1 black-blue, and this is exactly Yawgmoth's Will for your opponents. You exile all cards from your opponent's graveyards. You can just cast any of those cards this turn. You can spend any color of mana to play those cards. Anything that you didn't play goes back to their graveyard. Anything you do play, if it's not a permanent, it's also going to go back to their graveyard. And then you exile Mnemonic Betrayal. This is going to be a ridiculous card. You're going to see this card on Commander Versus at some point, because this is the type of thing that has the most exciting turn of the game. And there's people that just like to play with other people's cards, and it's a Dimir card, so this is just going to have a deck all to itself just to do that.
Yeah, or you just kill them with Bloodchief Ascension. Kill everybody.
Yeah, you could.
I'm going to cast Nightmare cards.
Yeah.
You're all dead.
Yeah, Bloodseed Ascension. Oh, well, they're going to go back into your graveyard at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet. Okay, moving on to Selesnya. We have March of the Multitudes. Now, I'm not super high on this card, but the thing is it's going to trigger so many of the other cards in your deck, like Divine Visitation, like Cathar's Crusade, anything that gains you life when a creature comes into play or draws a card when a creature comes into play. The fact that it's an instant and you can just make a billion dudes in a turn is what makes this card good. It's not that it's good on its own, but it's always going to be good with other stuff. Sticking with Selesnya, Tristani Discordant is... I think this card is okay. It's pretty specific. It's... where is it on my spoiler? Here it is. 3 green-white legendary creature Dryad. Other creatures you control get +1/+1, and Tristani itself is a 1/4. When it enters the battlefield, you create 2 1/1 white soldier tokens with lifelink. At the beginning of your end step, each player gains control of all creatures they own, which is a homeward path. I think this card is fine. And this is actually not a card that I think is that great, but I know people like it more than I do, so I wanted to make sure I touched on it. I think this is a pretty low impact card. You can keep playing it. It does pump your creatures as your commander. You can keep playing it to get the 2 1/1s, but this seems like more of a 99 card to me than a leading your deck type card. But we'll see. I'm sure people will try it either way. Okay, moving on to Izzet as the last one. We have the impossible to cast Niv Mizzet Perron. Blue, red, legendary creature, dragon wizard. This spell can't be countered. It has flying. And whenever you draw a card at any time, deal 1 damage to any target. And whenever any player casts an instant or sorcery, you draw a card. So the issue with this, again, is this thing is going to have a huge target on its head, even more so than the other Niv Mizzets,
Yeah.
which is saying something. Now, this card's super sweet, but again, huge target on its head. Good luck keeping it in play. Speaking of things that are going to put a huge target on your head, one of the sweetest cards in the entire set, a card that I've liked more and more the more I thought about it, is Thousand Year Storm. 4 blue-red enchantment. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, copy it for each other instant or sorcery spell you cast this turn you've cast before it this turn. You may choose new targets for the copies. So it gives everything Storm. All of your instants sorcery Storm. It's great.
Yes.
Again, this is going to be a huge target on your head, so you should win soon after playing this card. Like, you're going to have a turn at most. But go wild.
That's all you need.
Go wild. Last Izzet card is Expansion and Explosion. This is
I love this card, by the way.
I really love this card, too. I really, really like it. This is also another card, the more I think about it, the more I like it. Hold on, let me turn my head. Expansion is an instant for blue-red hybrid. Copy target instant or sorcery spell with converted mana cost 4 or less. You may choose new copies for the target. You can do this with your red or blue, so it's great. A lot of things just cost 4 or less anyway, so it's a very minimal restriction. And if you draw it in late game, you have Explosion, X, blue, red. It's 4 mana and then X. But it says deal X damage to any target and draw X cards. So I think this card is actually really, really versatile. Even though the Explosion side is really expensive, I think it's probably fine, especially in Commander.
Yeah, it's like if someone casts like something like Explosive Vegetation, you just copy for 2 mana in your blue-red deck. It's kind of gross.
It is. It is for sure, 100% gross, and that's definitely gonna happen. And you wouldn't normally be playing those type cards, but this card, you'll be playing this one. Yeah, I really like this card a lot.
Yeah, it's basically just a fake, like not a fixed, but like even standard. But yeah, this card is great.
This card is definitely great. And then the last one, I have a small group of cards I'll get to in a second. But with the last one that I want to point out is Rampaging Monument. Rampaging Monument, this card is so innocuous. I haven't heard anyone talking about this card, but I think this card is just great. It says Rampaging Monument. It is a artifact creature cleric. Artifact cleric, that's got to be a first. For 4 mana. It has Trample. Enters the battlefield with 3 +1/+1 counters on it. Whenever you cast a multicolored spell, put a +1/+1 counter on it. This thing's going to be huge. And I know it's just a creature that attacks and blocks, but it does have counters, so it interacts with things that have counters, and it's an artifact creature. So I don't know. I want to try this card in like a heavy multicolored deck, like a 4 or 5 color deck, where just everything is a multicolored card, and just get this thing massive.
I believe in you.
Okay. The last cycle of cards I want to go through, and I'm just going to go through these really quick. For people that like Maze's Index, you got 6 cards that make that your Maze's index significantly better. Guild Summit, which I believe is the best one. Circuitous Route, which is the explosive vegetation for gates as well as lands, which is really good. District Guide, which is just an upgraded Borderland Ranger, also gets gates and regular lands. Gatekeeper Gargoyle. This is it's a 3/3 for 6 that just gets +1/+1 for each gate you control, flying. Glaive of the Guild Pack, which essentially just gives a creature its equipment the same, gets +1/+0 for each gate you control, and has vigilance and menace. So you can just pass that around. And then Gateway Plaza, which is a gate that it's a, what is the card? Rupture Spire? Rupture Spire gate.
Yes.
So it counts as a gate. So these are a lot of nice little toys for your gate deck, if you're into that. And I know that some people are. So
I'm into that.
Good. Really like Guild Summit. I'm looking forward to playing that card in Limited, but if it's obviously going to be insane in the gate deck for sure. Whew. Okay. That was a billion cards that we went through.
That was a ton of cards.
Yes. I think I talked the most, so I'm gonna take a little water break, if that's okay with you, Ali, and everybody else.
Yeah, it's fine. Take a water break.
Excellent. Okay, so I'm gonna take my little water break, and when we come back, we're going to go over a lot of flavor texts that we find interesting for Guilds of Ravnica and what it might mean for the future of Magic Story. We'll be back in just a moment.
There's some weird stuff going on in Ravnica.
Oh, for sure.
Do you know that?
Big time weird. I don't think
People are disappearing. The guild leaders are not on the same side, even though they're on the same colors, the same team. They're like have different opinions. Stuff's going down.
Yeah. Now we know that Bolus is influencing. We don't know why, as usual. But we don't know exactly what his plan is, but we know there's a plan. And we know that he has right now some of the guild members / guild leaders in his pocket.
Yes, he does. And yeah, he does. He has like about half. Is it half?
It's exactly half. Now, we know from this set that he has Vraska in his pocket, as far as she knows, first she can remember right now.
Yep, Ralzeric.
And Ralzeric. Now, that means there's going to be 3 guilds in Ravnica Allegiance that are also going to be under Bolus's rule. And I think the flavor text from this set, before we even get to the story, gives us a lot of really great hints at what those are going to be.
Yes, I think we should know all of them actually.
I think we do too. Why don't we just get started? Why don't we just get into the flavor text and we'll see if we can piece it together.
So the first one talking about are the guild gates. There's 2 different art for each guild gate. Mm-hmm. And the flavor text on each one is basically the leaders having different motto or slogan.
Difference of opinions.
Yeah, yes. For example, the Boros Guild Gate. Aurelia says, the more trust breaks down, the more we must throw open the front gates. And then the other one, which is by Tajik, is our duty to protect all those in need, but the other guilds have never shown themselves worthy of that protection.
So we know Aurelia wants to mend fences with other guilds, and Tajik is very
not for it.
Reclusive, wants to be Boros only.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I'll let you keep going.
All right, and then then we have the Is It Guildgate. This is from Niv Mizzet, which says, Yesterday I didn't recognize my own guild. Today I see why, and for tomorrow I must be prepared.
One of the best flavor text in the set, in my opinion.
Yeah,
is that specific one.
It's also very Is It.
Yes.
And then the other one says, every laboratory buzzes with new experiments, each a piece of Raul's ambitious project. So that's obviously what Niv Mizzet saw and why he's preparing for tomorrow,
and
so to speak.
I want to point out that Guildgate flavor text is the only one that's not attributed to a character. It talks about Raoul, but it's not attributed to him.
It's not a quote. Yeah,
exactly.
All right, next one is the Mirror Guildgate. This is Lazov saying it. Every guild dreads infiltration. I should know. I've been a member of all of them.
Great flavor text too.
Yeah. And then the other one is Etrata?
Sounds right.
She says, you found this place only because you were summoned. Pray you're worthy of the invitation.
So I think of all the ones so far, it seems like those two are most on the same page.
Yeah, they're not really necessarily opposite.
Yeah,
they're just saying different things.
Yeah,
like there's no real like positive or negative correlation for the most part. They're just talking about different things.
Totally.
Yeah. Next we have the Golgari Guildgate. This is Vraska. Shut the gates. In the underrealm, we will outlast the coming doom. So she wants to stay on the ground and basically let all the service rollers die. Then Azani Thousand Eyes says, Jared was a friend to the Devkaren. Now we slink through the neglected tunnels, befriending those who crawl them.
And we know that Vraska essentially usurped power from Gerard.
Yes, with the help of
Bolus previously.
Presumably help Bolus, yeah.
And this actually happened slightly before the events of Ixalan, and then she was put into power during this set, as far as we know. As far as we know so far.
Yeah.
Okay, we have.
I don't know who do you know who the Div Karen are?
No, I don't. I assume it's just it's a race of people, probably a race of whatever she is, like her elf race.
Right. Okay. I'm not sure either, but this last one is Selesnya, and they are complete opposites.
Oh yeah.
Tristani is saying, everyone who crosses that threshold is our most cherished friend. Everyone who crosses it again is our bitterest enemy.
That's a terrifying quote.
So basically saying, like, if people that come in, they're your family. But if you leave, you are the worst thing to us. Amara says, we leave our gardens open so all may know wonder, but guarded so all may know peace.
Yeah, those are very, very, very opposite, for sure.
Yeah.
So it seems like, and just based on this, and we know that obviously there's discord within the guild, it seems like the best, like, just from that and based on the rest of this flavor text we'll get to, I guess, actually, let's go through the flavor text first. I don't want to jump the gun. The gun. So why don't you go through some of the ones you find the rest of the ones outside of the guild gates? Because I agree that the guild gates, as a group of 10, paint the best picture of Ravnica as it stands right now.
Yes. Yeah.
But there are some other key moments depicted on flavor that I think that you and I both agree are important.
Okay. Let's just start with fresh-faced recruit.
Okay.
Just a creature. And it says, hold on to your ideals. They'll be tested more than your armor or the edge of your blade. It's basically saying, I know what you believe in. I better have faith because things are about to happen.
Yeah, let's see when the hammer falls if you can back that up.
Yep. Yes.
And
exactly.
And this is particularly important because we know that Aurelia and Tajik feel differently about the direction of the Boros.
Exactly. Yep. He's basically calling them out already, like, be
ready. You're gonna have to pick a
Boros.
side soon.
Yeah. But he's basically saying be Boros, where it's funny because Aurelia is also Boros, but he's basically already portraying that I'm the real Boros.
Yes.
Aurelia is not.
Totally.
Be on my side. Which is
absolutely.
Definitely. Yep. All right. Next one is Perihelion Patrol. This is a flying human knight thing. Flirta says, "Too many have disappeared in these dark days. I am the light that will lead them home."
So this is another Boros card.
Yes.
And this is kind of the first hint that literal disappearances, like people are going missing. And this is Ravnica, where people presumably go missing frequently, but if it's noticeable to each of the guild, they all notice, and they're all like, there's a lot of people going missing.
Yes, and I think we know who's doing it, but we'll get to that.
That goes nicely into the next one.
Yeah, next one is Bounty Agent, and this says, "Lately, I've seen the biggest bounties of my career, and for the biggest names, such as being hired to kill the biggest named people."
Yeah.
So
very interesting. Then we get
and she's not with Boros. She's just unaligned.
Oh yeah, ungilded. No, what is the word for it?
Unaligned.
I think there's like a specific like Ravnican word
for
not aligned with a guild. It might just be unaligned, but it's I don't know. I could be wrong. Let us know if you guys know. Anyway,
all right,
we'll move on.
Okay, then we have a Guild Summit. This has a picture of Asperia on it, and it says, "In a climate of suspicion, Asperia gathered the guild to propose a radical idea: cooperation." AK should die. The guilds can't cooperate.
Well, why don't you move on to the card that we believe obviously follows this card in the story.
Okay, so that is Assassin's Trophy, which is literally a picture of, if you didn't know, is a picture of Asperia's body or head.
Petrified.
And it says, yep. And it says, "A power vacuum for the Azorius, a keepsake for Vraska."
Which is terrifying. Vraska's that's a big deal. It's not like she just killed some random denizen of Ravnica.
Yeah, and Vraska also, this is not the Vraska we know from Ixalan, so it's like,
no.
WTF.
Quite the opposite. Quite the opposite.
Yeah, she's going for the throat. It's funny because, in Ixalan, there's like, talked about forgiveness and everything that's happened, and it's crazy what can happen from people you meet, apparently. So, anyways, she's not happy.
No. Now she doesn't remember anything, but this is clearly what she wanted before Ixalan. So it'll be very interesting once her and Jace interact again.
When he gives back the memories.
Yeah.
All right. The next one is a quote from Domri Raid, even though he's not in this set. It's a Street Riot. It says, "They said obey and you'll be happy. They said you'll be safe. We're not happy and we will not obey."
And this, there's another one that I want to kind of attach to this one, and this is Maniacal Rage. It says, "They tell us the wilds are ours. Then they brick them over. They can lie to our faces, but not to our fists." So, this to me, this along with specifically with the Domri flavor text, which is this to me is one of the most important flavor texts in the set for figuring out what's going on in the future. This pretty much locks it in that I think Gruul is going to be under Bolas's thumb, because I think he's going to rabble rouse them to the point where maybe not directly reporting to him, but doing exactly what he wants to do, what he wants them to do. Because I think they're going to be very unsubservient to the other things, to the cooperation that Asperia was trying to spread.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because they do not want to cooperate. They feel like they've been treated poorly, and and compromised for all the other guilds for nothing, and now they're mad. They're real mad. And I think Domri's going to end up being the leader of this guild come the next set in Ravnica Allegiance, but obviously we don't know that for sure, but this sure points to that.
Okay. Let me pull up this next one real quick. All right. Next one is Command the Storm. Has a picture of Rawls Eric. Says, in the wake of Niv-Mizzet's disappearance, Rawl found himself leading the guild. He had dreamed of this day, but couldn't help feeling like a pawn in someone else's game. It seems like Rawls' memory has been somewhat tampered with. Or he has no idea of Rawls' plan, but that seems unlikely.
Yeah, I think that seems unlikely too. I also think that, one, this also tells us that Niv-Mizzet disappears as one of the disappearances.
Yes.
But I think he knows that he's working for Bolus, but maybe he thinks he's working with Bolus and not for Bolus. And this is kind of his point of realization. He's working for Bolus, doing what Bolus wants him to do, rather than them working together. Do you think that could be it?
Maybe that could be it, or yeah, that could, maybe. Like, it'd be hard to think that he's that dense, but
maybe not. I mean, maybe he's very sure. He's very sure of himself.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Next up is another one that involves Rawl. Rawl's storm crackled with mystical detections. Planeswalkers were infiltrating Ravnica. Dun dun dun.
And this is on 1,000-Year Storm.
Yep.
One of the coolest cards in the set. So this is what I have to imagine is the last story spotlight card, because they didn't order them this time, which is good. And the story spotlight cards, they give away one big part of the story, but not like a bunch of them. Which,
yeah,
Ali, you and I have talked a million minutes about our disdain for that. So, I mean, this has got to be like the last thing that happens in the Ravnica story before we go to the next set. Yeah, for sure.
Ajani and friends.
Yeah. Well, not only the Gatewatch, but maybe more Planeswalkers to take over the guilds under Bolus.
Oh, for sure.
That's what I think is going to happen.
Yep. All right, next up we have Sinister Sabotage. We have intel that some guilds have fallen under an invader's influence. Until we're sure, no venture succeeds. Lazov.
Lazov, is it just me, or is Lazov like the main good guy in everything?
Protagonist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, right?
Which is funny.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It's kind of cool though.
The shapeshifter, like Demir, who doesn't trust anyone, now is like, look, we know that we're like, snooping around, but we don't like when other people do it that are not supposed to be doing it. So we need to figure out what's going on.
Yeah. Basically make everyone fail until we know what's going on.
Yeah. It's like Lazov has played many, many games of Werewolf.
Yeah, he's not messing around.
No.
All right. Next one is also... This is on Severed Strands. It says, I've seen Ravnica's fate. Believe me, I'm doing you a favor. So this...
And the art is depicting what I imagine is like... So in Hercules, the Triad of Fates, when they have like this string, like the life string...
Yeah.
And they cut it, someone dies. So that's kind of what it's depicting, like a character that can do that with a pair of scissors in this very bright life string.
Or change your fate. Basically so, but yeah.
I think it's kill you.
This is kill you. This is definitely kill you.
Oh, yeah, sure. They can also do that, but this one particularly.
Yeah. Yeah. Depends which strand they cut. They cut like the life strand, then you're dead, but they cut like different strand, you can maybe change your fate.
Fair enough. Okay.
All
right, what else?
Next one is also about the Dimir. Unexplained disappearance. People are disappearing in Ravnica.
Yeah, and this is literally is the card itself.
Yep. The first thing that Miss chills is the mind. Victims never cry out or even murmur in surprise. So, it seems like the Dimir are kidnapping people.
Are they? Or did they just notice before everyone else?
No, I think they're doing it. Maybe. I think they're doing it.
But is it for good or for bad?
For good.
Yeah.
For good. Because
to protect people.
Yeah, like they took Niv Mizzet to protect him.
Yeah. I think that's the case too.
Yeah, which is also pretty cool. The last one, do you have that one pulled up?
Yeah, I also have one more on the
Okay.
Dimir. This is a Nightvale Predator.
Okay.
3 daggers left in an angel's back. 3 enforcers with memory loss. 3 keys stolen from my own belt. And yet you talk of peace? And this is Tajik to Aurelia.
Yeah, he's pissed.
Yeah. They're not on the same page, I would say.
No, and you can tell he's trying to convince people to switch, like to be more aggressive or.
Yeah, he's ready for war, not diplomacy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's basically Boros and Boros only.
So
it's kind of like what do you call it when like the Kithkin on Lorwyn, where they like are only for themselves, nobody else.
Say that again.
It's what do you call it when like this like a species is only for themselves, like Kithkin basically on Lorwyn, where they're like only for Kithkin and everyone else can die.
Racist.
There's a word for it though. It's not racist. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He's being
guildophobic.
Guildophobic.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. The last one is Sworn Companions, and this isn't one necessarily that relates to this story, but is a look forward to the Ravnica allegiance. The trouble with youth these days is that in outright defiance of their elders, they refuse to be bought. And this is Karlov of the Ghost Council. So now we know that the Ghost Council is, they're very self-serving, but I also think that the Orzhov, along with the Gruul and along with the Azorius, are going to be the ones under Bolus, because just as easily as they want to buy people, they can just be bought by Bolus.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to happen very easily. I think they're going to turn immediate. So
Orzhov, Gruul,
and Azorius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why Azorius?
I think that's why they killed Asperia. So they can put in their own ruler. Their Bolus controlled head of the guild.
I guess we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I have no idea who is like. There's Asperia. I have no idea who another one is. So we'll see. I guess next.
I think it's going to be Dovinbon.
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
He's very Azorius, not just in blue and white, but specifically Azorius. And he has some interactions with Tezzeret, so I think he's going to be implanted as the head of the Azorius, and I think it's going to be Domri as the head of the Gruul, because he's young and angry. And I think for the Orzhov, it's going to be Kaya.
Ghost assassin.
Yes. Hey, there's a bunch of ghosts to assassinate. Maybe a deal goes down wrong, and Bolus tries to buy the guild. Maybe they don't go along with it, and then he purchases Kaya, who takes him out and then is implanted as the head of the guild. Under
Kaya Ghost Assassin.
Exactly. Yeah. Under the guise of, I'm freeing you all from your oppressors, so I'll just take over for now.
Sure.
Now, Kaya is morally, I think her job as an assassin does not necessarily stand with her morals specifically, because she's only doing it as a job. She's only doing it for money or what have you. So I don't think she ends up with Bolus forever, but I think that's where she starts.
Sure, like a lot of people. So
Sarkin did the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, he's obviously very alluring. So I think that's what happened. I think we have Dovinbon, Domrirod, and Kaya. I don't know her last name, but Kaya, as the Planeswalkers heads of the Gruul, Azorius, and Orzhov, respectively. So
All right, I'm cheering on Lazov.
yeah, I'm gonna cheer on Lazov too. I'm with you.
That's cool though. It's cool we get to cheer on
The
Demir, which
Demir,
is
yeah,
yeah, that's pretty epic.
who seem like if you look at the guilds from like a morally correct perspective, like the worst, the Demir, who just want to lie and deceive and betray
That's,
at all times, but yet here we are.
I don't know about Betray. I think Orzhov is more.
You don't know about betray? All right. Well,
Well, I think
since
okay, sure. I think Orzhov is worse than Demir.
I don't think
Personally.
so.
I think so. It's under the guise of being bought.
Why don't you read the flavor? Since we're on flavor text, why don't you go down and read? This is the last one we'll do for this segment. Why don't you read the flavor text out loud of Silent Dart?
Oh, so yeah, the deal. It says these terms are acceptable to House Demir. Shall we shake on it?
And the hand, and it shows a picture of a hand with a dart getting ready to come out of it, like under the sleeve.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's shake on it, and I'll kill you.
Well, he's killing the bad guy. I'm not the good guy.
We don't know that.
We don't.
It's not. That's not a Guild Line card. We have no idea.
You never know.
That's right. Okay. So a lot to glean from Guilds of Ravnica card flavor text, and there's even more. These were just the big ones.
Yes.
There's a lot of really small ones. A lot of the lockets are credited to characters associated with guilds. So if you're interested, I would go check those out too. There's a handful of other cards. Definitely go check out all the guild associated cards. You're gonna get a lot from that. A lot of the un-guild associated cards are credited to people from guilds that are not in this set, like Gruul and Rakdos and Azorius, etc. So check those out too. This is a great set for flavor.
Yep, I agree.
All right, cool.
All
right. Time to move on. We have one more segment today. Ollie and I decided to, at the behest of my partner Meredith, decided to watch the movie Mother!
Exclamation mark.
Exclamation mark, lowercase m. And this is a movie that's been out for a year, but Ollie and I have specifically not talked about this since we've watched it, but I can't imagine that we're going to have few words to say about it. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll return our thoughts on the movie Mother. All right, Ali. So where to start with this one? Mother is... This movie came out exactly a year ago. Like almost to the date. We're about a week off.
Yeah, I don't know what to say without spoiling anything, honestly.
I feel like you can talk about things without spoiling. You say this like every week, but you can. I believe you can do it.
This one, okay. Yeah, sure. I want to talk about that actual movie. Do you like it?
I actually did like it.
Okay.
I imagine you hated it.
Nope. I actually liked it a lot.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm honestly like never sure where you're gonna land on these, but
well, it took me a minute. It's I liked it because as I was watching it, I got a hint of something, and then I try to catch more.
You started piecing it together.
It's very, very slowly. Actually, I never rewind movies, and I actually rewind this one a couple times just to
yeah.
And then I was told to not read any reviews online or anything.
Yeah, which I didn't do either.
Yeah,
which I'm glad I did not. So if you are interested in watching this movie, here's what we can tell. Here's what we can tell you. This is a movie directed by Darren Aronofsky, and for those of you that are listening that are familiar with movies, this is a director of a lot of very engaging and controversial movies. Some of the movies that he has directed specifically are Requiem for a Dream, which is a movie I have seen 7 times too many, which I've seen 7 times. Have you ever seen Requiem?
One time.
One
But that
time,
movie-
the appropriate amount for every person?
Is it?
Yes. I've seen it. I watched that movie in college, 2005, with my college roommate, and have I've seen the movie 7 times. I remembered every instance I've seen it, and have shown the movie to 5 people that have not seen it before. So then I saw it 5 more times. And then I think I watched it with Meredith when we've both seen it, and I don't know why we watched it again, but I'm pretty sure we did.
Sure.
I guess we really wanted to just think the world is the worst and hate everything. Anyway, so yeah, Darren Aronofsky not only has Requiem for a Dream, but also the movie The Wrestler, which is have you seen The Wrestler?
No.
It's with Mickey Rourke. Oh, it's very very good. It's very very good. Also directed Black Swan, which is Natalie Portman and Mila Kunis about ballet dancers. It's a little more than that, but that's kind of the backdrop. And then this movie, which is I'm going to read you the Wikipedia synopsis. If
Which one?
Of Mother. It says the plot follows
sure.
a young woman whose tranquil life with her husband at their country home is disrupted by the arrival of a mysterious couple. And I think that is, as far as plot wise, that's about all you can say without without spoiling anything. I will say this movie is, even in its early stages, has some elements that are, I don't want to say otherworldly, but maybe not things are quite as they seem as far as reality exists.
Yes. As soon as the first second of the movie, you see something strange. Like the opening scene is strange.
The very opening scene. You don't really make anything of it. It's kind of just like
it's strange.
It's kind of just there, and you're like, that's interesting.
Yeah, keep note.
In the movie, and then it just jumps into the movie. Opens with a woman waking up from her bed, which is Jennifer Lawrence, and going around to find her husband, who is a poet, played by Javier Bardem, and they live alone in a house, and then someone comes unexpectedly, and then the movie kind of goes from there. And it's how they react to this together and individually.
Yeah.
And I think my pause is probably more telling than words that I could say, because this is a movie that will take you on a mental and emotional roller coaster from about 5 minutes in until the last 1 second of the movie, without stopping. There's some dips, there's some small dips for a second, but they are just there to lull you into a false sense of security.
All right, Parnell, I can't do it anymore.
Okay, all right, fine. Before, so on a scale of 1 to 5, what are you giving this?
4.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this a 4 too. 4 stars for me as well. Okay. Are you ready to enter spoiler zone?
Boop.
Spoiler warning.
Boop.
Spoiler warning.
Boop.
Spoiler warning.
Boop.
Spoiler warning.
All right, we're in.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
We're in the spoiler
Yeah, we're in the
zone.
spoiler zone. You can go.
Holy crap! First of all, like when I first watched the movie, I was like, okay, this guy just a douchebag. Like, the husband.
Yeah.
I was like, he's just like blind idiot husbandman that like is an asshole. And then like as it goes on, it's just like you see, obviously you see like these weird things happen, and the first thing that made me like the first dot I connected was when he had the old man in the bathroom. He's
Yep.
like throwing up or
Yeah,
whatever.
and he had his hand on his side.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, it was above his side, and then the woman comes in, wife Jennifer Lawrence is like, "What happened?" Like she sees the cut on his side, and then the next day, the guy's wife shows up.
Yep.
And at that point in time, I didn't really.
You're not making
Like,
you're not making the full connection. You're like
No.
that's weird. I'm gonna keep that in mind.
Yes, but then, when the sons came,
Yep.
and one son killed the other, and I was like,
Okay.
wait a second.
I know what this is.
Is it exactly? Yeah, I was like, wait a second. And then I started to try to piece together what things meant. There's one thing I couldn't figure out.
Okay.
So obviously, this is why I assume is reference to the first book of the Bible, which is Genesis.
Yeah.
Which I actually read a lot, but I don't know. But anyways, there's one thing I didn't know. Maybe you knew it.
Sure.
Jennifer Lawrence kept making this potion of yellow stuff and drinking it.
No, I don't know. I don't know what that was.
Dang it!
I don't know what that was either. I figured out what was going on the exact moment that you did. When the sun started fighting. That's when I figured it out. I was like, oh, this is Cain and Abel. Oh, wait a second. This is Cain and Abel. Then their parents are Adam and Eve. And the gem is the forbidden fruit.
Yes. And Jennifer
Lawrence is Mother Nature. And the house is the earth.
She you know what she reminded me of?
What?
The gosh darn Giving Tree. The adult version of the Giving Tree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literally. Like, if you guys haven't read the Giving Tree, it's quote unquote a children's book. It takes 5 minutes to read. It is
it's a children's reading comprehension level book. But
yes,
it is
not for children.
Significantly deeper and more depressing than that.
Yes, it is literally the same thing. Jennifer Lawrence is the Giving Tree. It's just the adult version of it. Mother Nature, or quote unquote mother, like giving her everything, giving everything until she's nothing but a stump,
and then gives that,
and then she gives that.
Yeah. This was so. I guess for those of you that are listening, that are like, we know some of you listen to spoilers even if you haven't seen the films. So ultimately, this movie is allegorical for the old, I guess, the Bible, the Old Testament into the New Testament. Now, I don't want that to either dissuade you or encourage you to watch this movie, because it is not kind in its depiction.
Oh no.
I would say quite the opposite, actually.
Yeah, towards the end too, where he's like, literally towards the end, he's like,
the third act, they really make it clear. They really make it very, very clear. If you have not figured out all of the connections by the last third of the movie, they strip away all of the kind of the mystery of what might be going on. They just start laying everything on very thick. Yeah,
they brought us gifts for the baby, and then baby is, God, it's disturbing. Baby gets killed and eaten and then they drink his blood and flesh, like what the people do now.
So,
and then good.
No, you go.
I forgot. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So one of the things I was thinking about, because I've thought about this movie every 5 minutes since I've watched it. Yeah. And I don't know. Okay, so this movie, when it was released, was very controversial, obviously.
Yeah.
And it has an audience score on like Rotten Tomatoes of 50%. This is not a 50%. This is not a 50% movie from a filmmaking, storytelling, acting standpoint. This is like a 90% movie, 85 to 90% movie.
Yeah, it's because people took it at face value and didn't get.
Or
you know what?
Or they were offended because they thought it was directed at them, which in some cases it might have been. But
I think it's more stupid.
Yeah, no, no. I mean, you've already said it. But you already said it.
Yeah, stupid people watching this movie and not understanding what metaphors mean and just literally taking face value and being idiots. So.
And I think that's probably for the people, 50% of people that don't like it. I think that's half of that 50%, so 25%.
At least half.
Why more? Well, I think the other 25% falls into this category. Either you are someone who you believe your faith is being made fun of or inappropriately shown by this film,
but it's not.
I mean, I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure this is what people believe.
Sure.
As someone who was raised as in North Carolina, in the Baptist church, I know the people that believe this. That was put in a situation where they were tricked into watching this movie. I mean, they weren't, but and as such, believe that this is a inaccurate portrayal of what they believe their faith to be. 2, people that are of a different faith that are not as familiar with the allegorical comparisons that this movie is trying to make. So they're kind of forced to take it at face value, because if you're not familiar with what it's trying to tell you, the source material, you're not. You have to take it at face value because that's all you can do, right?
Right.
And then group 3 are the people that are very, very anti-religious, that are completely turned off by it once they realize this has anything to do with religion, which the thing is, it doesn't really. That's just the story. It's not trying to tell you anything. It's not trying to say like, this is what you should think or feel.
No.
It's just presenting this to you in a way.
In a different way.
In a different angle. Exactly.
Yeah, it's different perspective on the same thing.
Yes. And
it's like you and I saw the same thing. I'm telling my story, how I experienced it, and I saw it, and you're telling your story.
Exactly. But I don't think that people take it as that. I think this movie probably upset a lot of people, offended a lot of people. People thought it was crap. Inevitably. I mean, they had to have. I mean, I've never seen a movie that's
the one thing it did portray, like it did portray God as like almost like a child and loveless person that's like, or something that we don't really understand. Like, it's something that doesn't necessarily love, but nothing loves to create, or wants to create and enjoys making new things.
Well,
like
Jennifer Lawrence's character actually did say that at the very, very end of the movie. Said, "You never loved me. You loved how much I loved you.
How much I loved you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that really says it all.
Yeah, because that's what he wants.
Yeah.
He wants that adoration.
Yes.
Of everybody. That's why he let everyone in the house. They literally kill his son, and she's just devastated, destroyed.
Well,
there's
a point when she says, can't tell them to leave, and he says, I don't want them to leave.
Yeah. And then the kid dies, and she's destroyed, and he's just like, we have to forgive them. You must forgive them. Yeah. We must forgive them. We have to forgive them. And she's like,
this could change everything.
You're crazy.
This moment could change everything. This could be the defining moment of humanity, if you forgive them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I don't want to, I think before either of us saw this movie, we were not expecting this to have anything to do. we weren't expecting to have a discussion that touched on religion when we were talking about this movie. I sure wasn't. Like I wasn't prepared for that.
No. Well, the thing is, like, she can't. Sorry, like, obviously Jennifer Lawrence is Mother Nature, and she keeps trying to cleanse the world of humans because they're just literally destroying her.
Yes.
Like the house is Earth, and they come in, and just like in the Bible, the first time she cleanses them or gets is through the quote unquote the flood.
Yeah.
Right. That's how she gets. She kills all humans that are destroying her home, and she literally feels her Earth dying, the more people are in her home. And then the second time she kills them all is with
fire.
With fire, but that hasn't. I assume that's like foreshadowing.
Yeah, this is the kind of
this is like
Revelation, Book of Revelation, in the
future,
the Christian New Testament. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay.
I mean, not obviously they're loosely kind of paralleling this, but that's essentially what it's more or less depicting.
Yeah, it's showing like Mother Earth or Mother Nature like just completely giving up, saying, "F everything. I'm killing the Earth and you and everything else." Like she's done.
Yeah.
Not everything, but she's just done.
Yep.
She gives up basically, and at the end, God is like, "Okay, I'm gonna start over. Maybe I'll go right this time."
And at the end of the movie, we see the beginning of the movie again
with a different Mother Earth or
yes,
nature, I would call it. Yeah.
Yes, similar looking, but not the same.
Yeah, same mannerisms so far. So or
yeah, this is like I said. This is I don't plan for us to really ever talk about religion on this show. That's not what the show is for. Like we're primarily an entertainment show is what we're trying to do. And I think we kind of, like a lot of other people that saw this movie, we weren't expecting a religious component, but we kind of fell into it. And ultimately, I think this movie is made phenomenally. Just straight up, it's excellent. Now,
I think so too.
Do I want to ever see this movie again? Probably not. It's pretty rough to watch.
I'd watch it again.
And you never watch movies again.
This is on the same like watchable level for me as Annihilation. Like it's so intriguing, and maybe and it's the fact that maybe I'll catch something that I didn't catch the first time.
Yeah, and that, honestly, like and that was my initial reaction when I first watched it. I was like, I never want to watch that again. But I also spent the entirety of the day today thinking about this movie.
Yeah.
So,
dude, I've literally rewound parts to make to see what I missed or what I could like put together, and it's
a lot. And honestly, this is a lot of any person, regardless of religion or faith or what you believed in the past or what you believe now. I think everyone can take a lot from this movie because Jennifer Lawrence's character is, I don't know how you can't feel for her. How any human being can't feel for her. The situations that she's put in. From 5 minutes onward in the entire movie.
The editor. Do you know who the editor was?
What do you mean?
Like the author was obviously God. He's the one that wrote the book, but he had someone that edited his work or looked at his work. Because the first time Jennifer Lawrence reads it, she's like, "This is beautiful."
The publisher.
The publisher, yes.
Kristen Wiig's character.
Yeah.
Like who that is supposed to represent?
Yeah.
I believe the Herald of the Apocalypse. That's why she was organizing the executions, and she was the one that was encouraging him.
But she also at the end said, "Kill." All right, there's inspiration. Kill the inspiration.
To fill, because it's time. It's time for the apocalypse.
Okay.
I think that was her role. She encouraged all of the, fans,
the cult
/ worshippers, followers.
Those are fanatics.
Well,
obviously.
I think that's, I mean, clearly that's what they're depicted as, but I think the question is, where does the line get drawn? Because it's a lot of the same people that were there initially, that were dressed well, that were just talking with him when they were taking pictures, like when they were out on the front porch, right?
Yeah.
And then a lot of those there's just more of those people, and they all kind of just turn. Like there's not like a line drawn between the people that are the fanatics and the fans. And I think that's an important distinction.
Yeah, that's the whole point. Honestly, like, this is like may sound weird, or I'm not trying to offend anybody, but it was always weird
Well,
to me
if I mean they're gonna if they're still here, then
sure. I think it's weird that people literally, like in church now, they quote unquote symbolize the drinking of blood of Christ and eating the flesh of Christ. And that's just a little weird to me, but I don't know.
Well, I mean,
like seeing it in the other way was
the actual physical depiction.
Yes, it was disgusting. Not disgusting. It was like,
well, I mean,
like demoralizing. It was disgusting. It was so much more than that though. Like disgusting is like not even describing it correctly. You know what I mean? It was like disgusting, demoralizing, shitstorm. Like what, WTF? Like it was just mind blowing. Like what are you doing? Like how can you do this? And that's basically what happened. So,
if you have not watched this movie and you're still listening, and you've made it this far, the knowledge of what happens in this movie has no bearing on your ability to watch it, because this is an emotionally powerful movie. It's visually stunning. It's incredibly well acted and well put together. So if you've listened this far and you still haven't watched it, I encourage you to go watch it, because we can't do it justice. There's nothing we could say. There's nothing that anyone can write that can really do this movie justice without someone watching it from start to finish.
Yeah. Also, what was Adam? Why was he sick?
I don't know.
But yeah, he was always sick, and I don't know why he was sick.
I don't know.
Even after his partner was made, he was still sick. But it was clear that Eve did not love him.
No,
she was just there because she was forced to be his companion, basically.
Yeah.
But there's some things I still don't understand, like why Adam was sick to begin with. Completely, like he was a thief for his creation, but I'm not sure why he was sick. And then the yellow powder. That
I have no idea. I literally have no clue. I might poke around the internet after we're done with this podcast to try to figure it out. Hopefully, if someone knows the answer to this question or believes that they know, please let us know, because we're both curious.
Yeah, because things like I also remember Adam being sick. I remember him getting like bored, so God made a companion. But I don't remember him ever being sick, and even afterwards he was still sick. So
yeah, I don't know if anyone else has insight specifically, especially those of you that are on our Discord or even on Twitter. Like anything else, any opinions people have about this movie, like I legitimately want to hear them. Like I would like to engage in conversation about this movie. I just want to get other people's opinions, because I think like the great movies are ones that you spend more time thinking about than you do watching.
Yeah.
And we've had a few of those this year.
Yeah. And she was like life. She's basically like life, or like you say, Mother Nature.
Yeah.
I saw her as life, and like he can't do anything without her. And anytime she tried to leave Earth or the house, he would not let her. He would not let her leave Earth.
Yeah. Like, no, which was you stay here.
And she was like, no, I want to leave. I want to go. And he was like, no, you stay.
Did you also notice that there were no roads leading to the house?
No.
It was.
Yeah. It was all trees.
All trees around it, and a big yard.
Yeah, he's painting or whatever. But I also noticed that he never let her leave.
No.
Leave out of the house.
Not even like on the front porch.
Yeah. No. He didn't want anywhere near. Like he didn't want her to get out.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
It was. So yeah. Love this movie. Think it's great. I don't know. Maybe this is close to 5. I think maybe I'm underselling it for 4 stars. Honestly, like the more I think about it, the more that I like it.
Yeah, it's probably 4.5.
Yeah,
that acting is also phenomenal too. So
yeah, no doubt. It's
So, yeah.
everyone
So-
in this movie is great.
We're all saying good. We're saying like literally positive things. Like
Pretty much
I can't say
exclusively. Yeah.
so it's probably like 5 because
Yeah.
I can think one thing I think about it. Like
I
honestly.
can't really either, other than like it disturbed me at points, but in a good way.
Yeah. It made you think.
Yeah, for sure. All right,
Yeah.
cool. Well, honestly, dude, I had no clue how you were going to feel
either.
about this movie.
Oh really?
Yeah, I mean, this is difficult for I think it's difficult for me to guess another person's feelings on this movie. Like I just don't know because it's going to affect everyone in a different way. But I'm glad we're on the same page.
I love movies like this anyways. I like to make you like think and are kind of like supernatural. Okay, I mean, I should say supernatural. Well, they are.
Yeah,
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Cool. All right. Well, that's it. Mother.
All right.
If you haven't seen it, go watch it. That's the show for this week. We're going to take our last quick break. When we return, question of the week. All right, Ali, you're going to shake off that last segment. Are you shaking it off so we can get...
Shake your booty. Shake your booty.
Ollie, earlier in the show, we talked about flavor text. And we talked about flavor text that really has to do with kind of what's coming up in the story for this story, for Guilds of Ravnica, for Ravnica Allegiance going forward. But I want to talk about flavor text that I particularly liked. And I think I have identified the best flavor text in the entire set. And I don't believe that anyone could say different.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, good. So I'm sure we'll agree. Okay, so then we will agree that the best flavor text in Guilds of Ravnica is Ornery Goblin.
What? No.
What do you mean? What do you mean no?
I mean, mine is for Dimir Guildgate.
Oh, no, definitely not. It's Ornery Goblin for sure. Do you need
Right,
do you need
listen,
to do you need to have
more
the,
epic?
do you need to have the listening stick so you can listen to what I'm saying?
How about you go first?
All right, I'm gonna go first. All right, Ornery Goblin's flavor text. It's the perfect marriage of art and flavor text because it shows a goblin sitting down on like the edge of a column, and he's got his hands on his knees and his chin on his hand, and he has this stick in one of his hands and his chin on his hand, and it says, "Nobody ever listens to my complaints, not even when I use the listening stick." And to me, I take this as he's taking the stick and he's hitting people with the stick to try to get them to listen.
I think that's funny.
And that's why he's trying to get them to use the listening stick. It's like, I'm
That's
using the
pretty good.
listening stick. Why don't you listen?
That's a pretty good story.
It's great.
Pretty
That's why it's the best flavor
good.
text in the set.
But
Oh,
Dimir Guildgate is an epic one. It embodies the full flavor of Ravnica and Lazal, what's going on, and it's just so like
I don't think it does embody
epic.
the full flavor. Go ahead, read it.
Listen.
Read it for me. Yeah, no, go ahead.
Every guild dreads infiltration. I should know. I've been a member of all of them. Lazov. Like, that's so badass. It's like...
But it doesn't talk about the listening stick, which is a big part of Ravnica. Or Ravnica history, as you know.
Oh my god, I disagree.
What do you mean? It's on Ornery Goblin. It says it right there.
I like this too. Never change Lazov. Well, I mean, keep changing because you're a shapeshifter, but you know what I mean. Lazov's great.
Is that flavor text?
No.
Oh.
That's extra flavor. Extra flavor text.
Added flavor. Hashtag added flavor from Ali Aintrazi.
Yeah.
Well, okay. That's fine. I mean, if you want something that you feel like is, oh, it's so important. This flavor text it's the most important flavor text in all of Ravnica. Instead of the listening stick, I think our listeners will know, without the use of the listening stick, what to vote for. And that's going to be Ornery Goblin for best flavor text in Guild of Ravnica. No, it's
Easy.
not good. It's not Dimir Guildgate.
Why it's Ornery Goblin is funny, but Dimir Guildgate is just epic. It's awesome. It's cool.
You know why it's not Dimir
makes
Guildgate?
sense.
There's two of those.
Oh my god.
It's so unspecial.
I'm gonna give you the listening stick.
See,
Straight to your face.
You want to use the listening stick. I want to give you the listening stick right now because you're not listening. There's multiple Dimir Guildgates. How could it even be the best one? There's one exactly like
it's Lazav, the Lazav one.
Oh yeah, you gotta clarify. That should tell you all you need to know.
I'll get out of here. Listening stick boy.
See, you want to use the listening stick right now, don't you?
I want to see what Lazav's doing. I want to be Lazav now.
Anyway, you guys should let us know at Thinktwice MTG on Twitter, at Ali Aintrazi on Twitter, at JParnell1 on Twitter. What is the best flavor text between these two? You only get two options on this. We're not gonna we're not gonna have a poll of 160. What is it? 159. That's not gonna happen.
Million.
So between these two options, we've narrowed it down: the listening stick or some
epic Lazav,
or just some Lazav mumbo jumbo.
I'll get out of here.
So let us know, Ollie. Where else can people find you?
You can find me at twitter.com/Ali Aintrazi, twitch.tv/Ali Aintrazi. My articles go up every Friday at coolstuffinc.com. This Friday, there's some couple brews up there on this, and you can find me at home with Maggie cuddling. What are you, Parnell?
Great. You can find me on Twitter at jparnell1 on Twitter, and on Commander Versus. I'm the host. You can find me on StarCityGames.com and YouTube. We're taking a little mid-season break right now, but we'll be back soon. Sooner than you can shake a listening stick at.
Oh, I'm out of here.
You get it? No, I got a little more of the outro. You can contact the show at ThinktwiceMTG on Twitter, and you can contact us more personally if you want to send an email at thinktwicemtg@gmail.com. You can find the show on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music if you would like. And we would like you to. So if you can, leave a review, either a short text review or a little 5-star review. Like and subscribe if it doesn't hurt your hand to do so. And I know that it doesn't. I've done it before. So
it might though.
No, I unless they've been on the receiving end of the listening stick, I think they'll be fine.
Oh my god, drop it.
You can also go to youtube.com/ThinkTwiceMTG to catch all of our episodes of Think Twice, as well as times that I have recorded video content, some of Ollie's streaming content. We did the Guilds of Ravnica early access event on MTG Arena, sponsored by Wizards. They hooked us up with sweet accounts. That happened later. Well, early. It's going to happen later in this week for us, but earlier in this week for you guys. You can catch all of those replays on youtube.com/ThinkTwiceMTG. And of course, go to patreon.com/ThinkTwiceMTG if you'd like to support the show. Specifically, we have a $1 Augur Bolus tier that grants you early access to the show, as well as access to our Discord channel, which has actually been really great recently. Even more so than it has been usually. We already have that super sweet animal channel. But we have a lot of people talking about Guilds of Ravnica stuff. Specifically right now. All new deck lists. We're talking about Limited, which I really love. We're talking about Constructed, which Ollie loves. All sorts of stuff. So,
alright, and I have Animal of the Week.
Okay, hit us with it.
Okay, this one, I know it always wins, but listen, Bindi is the winner because Bindi is going to be is a foster dog. She's only there for a week. She's gone next week. Never see her again. So while she's here, Bindi, you are Animal of the Week. Congratulations.
I do like me Bindi. I'll be honest. It's hard to pick against Bindi.
Yeah, she's only here for a short time too. She's going to go to hopefully a living home.
Hopefully. We also want to. We have a new patron supporter, Ethan S. Ethan, thank you very much for your support. Thank you for listening to the show and hopefully enjoying it. All right, that's it. That's the show. We want to give a thank you to our graphic designer, Amber West. You can find her work at amberwestdesign.com. And our director and producer, John Choi. He is the man behind the curtain. He put in that really crappy music before we talked about the listing stick.
It's always fantastic.
We want to give a special thank you to our Agent of Bolus producers, Daniel Hunt and Matt Lundell. Thank you guys very much for what you do. You are what, the Ollie?
The true MVP.
The true MVPs. All right, that's it. That's the show. We'll be back next week. More Guilds of Ravnica. I think we're going to talk about Standard going into the first event of the weekend. So
my body's ready.
Oh,
And
I'm ready
even
to.
more ready
I'm
next
ready to
week.
hear all of your expertise. We have one more week for
Ollie's
us to talk
expertise?
about Ollie's expertise. Yeah, it's the one they left out of Aether Revolt for some reason.
Wait, so which commitment costs extra what? What's X?
It's probably green, blue, X.
Oh, then costs another spell that costs X or less.
Yeah, probably.
Perfect.
It doesn't. It's just like I don't know what it does.
It probably says draw your whole deck and play as many lands you want, and then take another turn
No,
to
see
take
that
this
sounds dumb. That sounds dumb.
one.
That's too
what it does.
good. Get out of here. We're
Okay,
ending the show. All right, that's it. Thanks, guys. See you next week.
Bye. Good night.